Okay, so let's get right into it. Think about it. We spend years learning math, science, all the classic subjects. But what about the skills we actually use every single day? The ones for navigating our own minds and the world around us? Today, we're going to break down what might just be the most important modern skill set of all, mastering your own mental, emotional, and social health. And our guide for this whole explainer is this really cool new curriculum from the Flying Wings online school. They're onto something big here. This idea that real success isn't just about getting good grades. It's about building the internal foundation for a balanced, healthy life. And that's a fair question, right? We hear these phrases thrown around all the time, but what do they really mean? Like, in a practical sense, how do they all fit together? And more importantly, how do we get better at them? Well, to figure that out, we're going to go on a little journey of self-development, and here's the roadmap. First, we'll define this new way of thinking about health. Then we'll build our foundation, which is all about knowing yourself. From there, we'll get a handle on our inner world, then master the art of connecting with others, and finally, learn how to handle tricky social situations. So let's kick things off with part one, a new kind of health. This is all about realizing that being healthy is so much more than just physical fitness. It's about everything that goes on inside our heads and between people. And here's the key idea. These three things, mental, emotional, and social health, they aren't separate. They're totally interconnected. How you think affects how you feel. How you feel affects how you act. And how you act, well, that shapes every single relationship you have. It's like the invisible engine running your entire life. Okay, so if that's the goal, where do we even start? Well, before you can manage anything, you've got to know what you're working with. And that brings us right to our foundation, knowing yourself. The first thing we got to realize is that our identity isn't just one thing. Nope. It's more like a complex and totally unique mosaic, made up of all these different little pieces that come together to make you, well, you. So what are those mosaic pieces? Seriously, just think about it for a second. What are your rock-solid personal values? What beliefs have been shaped by your culture or your unique life experiences? Just recognizing these things is a huge first step because it pulls all these powerful forces out of your subconscious and into the light where you can actually see them. And that's the whole point. Once you understand all the pieces that make you tick, it's not about judging them. It's about developing real confidence by owning what makes you unique. That's the bedrock of solid self-esteem, right there. All right, once that foundation is solid, we can start looking inward. Section 3 is all about managing your inner world. This is where things get really practical, and we start to build what I like to call an emotional toolkit. And maybe the most important tool in that kit is resilience. Look, resilience isn't about being bulletproof or never having a hard time. Nobody is. It's the skill of bouncing back. It's like a muscle that literally gets stronger every time you face a challenge and find a way to move forward. So, how do you build that resilience muscle? Here are 3 super practical strategies straight from the curriculum. And these aren't just vague ideas. They're actual things you can do. Whether it's taking a few deep breaths, getting your schedule organized so you're not so overwhelmed, or just finding the courage to ask for help, these are the tools that get you through real-world stress. Okay, so we've done some work on our inner world. Now it's time to turn our focus outward. Welcome to Section 4, the art of connecting. Because let's face it, a huge part of our well-being is tied to the quality of our relationships with other people. And the goal here is pretty simple to say, but it takes real skill to pull off. Building connections that are based on respect and genuine support. It's the huge difference between just knowing a bunch of people and actually truly connecting with them. And one of the biggest keys to this is shifting from just passively hearing someone to actively listening. You know what I mean? So often in a conversation, we're just waiting for our turn to talk. Active listening is different. It's when you make a real effort to understand where the other person is coming from. It is a total game changer. At the end of the day, a real connection is a two-way street. It's about having the patience to really listen and understand others, but also having the skill and the courage to express your own feelings clearly and respectfully. Which brings us to our final and maybe most advanced section. This is where we take all these skills and apply them when things get tough. This is all about navigating social challenges while staying true to who you are. And make no mistake, these are some seriously high-level skills. Stuff like knowing how to disagree with someone without it turning into a fight, or how to resolve a conflict in a way that's fair to everyone. And of course, having the inner strength to resist peer pressure and make choices that are right for you, not just what the group wants. Because ultimately, this is what it's all been building toward. Developing the internal strength and the external skills you need to have true personal freedom, the power to make your own responsible choices. You know, the curriculum puts it perfectly. The whole point is to be able to walk into any social situation, no matter how tricky, with a real sense of confidence and responsibility. So, if we bring it all home, the big takeaway from this entire journey is empowerment. It starts with really understanding yourself, and from that strong foundation, you build a toolkit of practical skills that let you design a more balanced, healthy, and genuinely fulfilling life. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you look back at all of this, from self-awareness to resilience to communication, which one of those skills, if you really started working on it today, do you think would make the biggest difference in your life right now?